Okay, so this is Zach Franken.
And this is Adam Laurie.
And even though we work together and we produce this thing together, I'm going to now try and explain to him what it is, and then he's going to explain to me what it is, and then hopefully between us somehow we will have explained to you what it is. So basically it's a software-defined RFID device. So what that means is it's doing all of the low-level communications for you, and in software on the board itself we do the high-level demodulation. So anything like Manchester encoding or PSK or whatever, that's all handled at the higher level. So the board itself doesn't have to have a lot of intelligence, it doesn't have to do a lot of dedicated stuff, it just does the really low-level communication, and it makes it really easy for your software to do everything at the higher layers. Does that make sense?
Totally. So now I'll explain it back to him from my point of view. So the key thing about it is it removes all the hardware work. So previously you used to have PSK reader circuit, an FSK reader circuit, an AM reader circuit, and now you just have an RFiddler circuit, and all the decoding is done in software. But you can also emulate as well. And one of the key things about it that I like is we've done all the work for you. So right out the box you can take it, it has its own code, it has its own CPU, and you can log in on the command line interface and say sniff PSK and it will read a PSK card. You can say emulate FSK and give it a code to emulate, and it will emulate that FSK tag. So between reading, emulating, it allows you to kind of do all the low-level analysis that you might do if you've come across a tag that you've never seen before. You can actually work out what type of tag it is, what encoding scheme it is, and yeah, so it's quite a nice little compact device. So it's like a little Swiss Army knife for low-frequency RFID. And the nice thing is that once you've kind of played around and maybe written your own code, if you want to write your own application, you can have a RFiddler Lite, which is just the reader circuit, so you can embed that into your own project. So you can have your RFiddler to actually use as your experimenting tool, and then you can use RFiddler Lites, which are just the reader circuit, with your own kind of CPU. If you're an Arduino person, for example, we tend to use PIX. It makes it MCU agnostic, so you can write your code in your under your favorite chip, and write your RFID application. And
even if you don't want to go that far, what you can do is use the onboard. So Zach mentioned the CLI. There's also an API. So on the CLI, you're actually connecting over a USB interface, and you've got a little menu which takes kind of plain English commands and gives you human readable feedback. With the API, using the same USB serial connection, you can program it from Python or Ruby or whatever you feel comfortable in, and you actually get a more compact communication method. So you can say read me a tag and it will give you back raw data which you can then process within your Python code or whatever. So it's extensible both on board. You can upload your own firmware via the USB loader, or you could drive it as it is with the logic that's on board, but then add your own logic externally for doing more stuff. We'll also break out a lot of the lines from the onboard processor, so if you want to do further things like switching relays or driving another serial port or something like that, whatever lines are available on the chip we finally end up using, we still haven't quite decided. Part of this project is to look at 2 or 3 microprocessors and decide on the final chip, but whichever one it is, we will break out as much as we can to lines on the board that you can then wire up whatever peripherals you need to do other stuff with.
There's nothing worse than having lines on the chip that you can't use.
Yeah, that sucks. So anyway, we had a lot of fun developing it, and I hope you have a lot of fun testing it and helping us get it out there, and ultimately using it.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Bye. And just to make it really clear, we're in a hotel room. This is hotel artwork and not indicative of our personal taste whatsoever. Yeah. Sucky, sucky.
No, we don't like it either.
Bye.